Hey y'all, it's Kelt, and recently MAGA Republicans have gotten new propaganda orders, this time about the New York City mayoral race. Let's see if you can spot it. Roll clip.
So the third holy grail of taboos in American politics, you have socialism, you have Islam, and then you have Palestine. And you are really going for the trifecta.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. Tell me, why is Palestine a part of your politics?
When you grow up as someone, especially in the third world, you have a very different understanding of the Palestinian struggle.
So that is Democratic mayoral candidate Zoran Mamdani. Did you notice what they did to the clip for their propaganda piece? I'll give you a hint in case you missed it. It was the little box that was added in. That one, I think, by Laura Loomer, that said uncivilized. Mamdani, like many people the world over, was eating in that clip with his hands. He was using a scoop method in which you scoop up the rice and push it into your mouth. This is a method of eating that you'll see across many different cultures. Just to name a few, you'll see it prominently within the Philippines, South Asian cultures, you'll see it within different countries within Africa and the Middle East. And it is always labeled by middle-class white American bigots as third world uncivilized behavior. And it is considered uncivilized enough by MAGA Republicans for multiple of them to band together and post pretty much the exact same message, that Mamdani eats like a dog. But as someone on my Threads account had said, we don't know a lot of dogs that eat with their hands using opposable thumbs, something that only humans and the apes have. But the bigger issue with this is, and the ultimate irony of this is that MAGA Republicans posted these messages in the week leading up to 4th of July, the holiday that the majority of Americans, particularly MAGA and Republicans, are going to be spending shoveling copious amounts of food into their mouths with their hands. Hamburgers and hot dogs are eaten just like Mamdani does, with their hands. This 4th of July, you are going to have people who are complaining that Muslims and other cultures that eat with their hands are uncivilized, eating hamburgers, hot dogs, chips, bratwurst, ribs, chicken wings, fried chicken, grilled chicken, and a whole bunch of other things that are predominantly consumed by Americans using only their hands. If you were to go into the Deep South and grab a plate of ribs and start using a knife and fork, the majority of white dudes around you are going to look at you side-eyed like there is something wrong with you. They are expecting you fully to pick that up with your hands and get messy, because that is what you are doing. You are connecting with the food because it is meant to be eaten with your hands. So this is a completely rhetorical question, but why is it different when someone like Mamdani eats with his hands? I'm going to go ahead and answer my own rhetorical question. It's because they're attempting to other him, and that is something they've been doing with cultures that they have labeled third world for the longest time. This new round of propaganda is because they are running low on things to argue against him. These past pushes of he's a communist, he's a jihadi, and things like that are not taking effect that they hoped it would. Now, let me caveat that it is taking effect in certain places in the Deep South, stuff like that. If you start screaming they're a communist and they're jihadi, you're going to have Bubba and Ricky Bobby all upset. But again, their vote doesn't matter because they're not in New York City. This is a ploy versus the higher middle class white people within places like New York City who would see something like shoveling rice into your mouth as uncivilized, even though it's actually a pretty easy way to eat rice. Disclosure, I've tried that method of scooping with your fingers and pushing it into your thumb. I've had Middle Eastern friends, a Filipino colleague, try to get me to get it the right way, and it may be the rings, I spill it everywhere, but I am definitely the type of person to do the bread and scoop method and pop it in. It's one of my favorite ways to eat. Now, if you're celiac or gluten-free and you're wanting to do the bread and scoop method because you're like me and can't do the hand method, look into the seaweed chips at your local Asian market. You got to be careful and read the label. Some of them do have gluten. I have a gluten-free child. The kimchi ones are gluten-free in most brands. Check them out, but you can even do that. Getting a little bit of rice, some chicken, and some veggies in like a kimchi seaweed wrap, rolling it up and popping it in. It's great, but let's get back on subject. Interesting thing with Mamdani is if he was eating a traditionally American cultural food, such as, say, barbecued beef ribs, and he used a knife and fork, these same people would be marking him as still not fitting into American culture. Now, instead of trying to label him uncivilized, they would be trying to label him posh, that he thought himself too good of everyone else to be able to use his hands to eat the ribs. They would still be mocking that. But as Pearlmania said on Threads, with their God, they don't care that he ate KFC with a knife and a fork. I'm going to be honest, to this day, I still don't understand how Trump managed to eat a New York slice of pizza with a knife and fork in New York without New Yorkers chasing him out with pitchforks and torches. I mean, if that doesn't prove that MAGA is a cult, then I don't know what will. So this coming weekend, when you're out and about, after this leaves Twitter and moves on to Fox News, and you hear somebody ranting and raving about how these third world immigrants are so uncivilized they eat with their hands, remind them that that burger they're shoving into their mouth is also being eaten with their hands. But this is why even something as simple as food is political. But as always, stay vigilant, stay safe. I love y'all. Until next time.